This series of short videos, which covers the last 3 years of Mary's life, start about 2 years after she was diagnosed with Alzheimer disease. And you will see as the videos progress how the Alzheimer disease robbed her of everything, even her ability to live. It was a little over 2 years ago now that we noticed, that as family members noticed, that Mary was not remembering things that she should have remembered. Like, she couldn't remember that years earlier we had gone to Disneyland. Now that's something that you don't forget. And there were other things. So we made an appointment with the doctor, and just under 2 years ago, Mary was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Well, at that time, I couldn't believe it because everything else seemed to be normal. She was still driving the car, and everything was fine. She had been involved with a TOPS group, and she was the leader of the group. And now all of a sudden, she's got Alzheimer's. Well, almost 2 years down the road, we are really noticing a difference now. For instance, if I take her shopping to the grocery store, she'll want to put stuff in the cart that we don't need, and she will sometimes be very argumentative when it comes to putting them back on the shelf. It almost is easier to just buy them already. And if we're in a restaurant, she'll want to go over to an adjoining table and make friendly conversation with people she doesn't even know. You know, she's trying to be nice, but it's just out of place. Carrying on a normal conversation, well, that's gone now. It's been gone for, half a year or more. And Mary will often say no when she means yes. And then she'll sort of laugh because she knows she meant yes. Another thing that I've noticed that is really sad is that Mary is now starting to be fascinated by kids' TV shows. And she's quite happy to just sit and watch a kids' show for half an hour. Now, mind you, she still does watch other shows. But she never used to watch kids' shows. People who know the situation here keep asking me, how is Mary doing? Well, this is sort of how she's doing. As of now, anyway. Now, this is what they call bubble packing. These are for Mary, of course. And it starts on May the 11th. There's enough here to run for 4 weeks. And what they do is they put the medication in these little blister packs. Since Mary only takes medication once a day, they can put both pills in the one little blister pack. And I guess it's like sort of like when you take a piece of gum out of a package of gum that's in the blister pack. It presses out here, and I'm not going to try it, but I'm sure that's the way it works. So anyway, I've got them all ready to go here. So she's good for 4 weeks. Thought you just might be interested to see how that looks. There's a slight extra cost for having the pills put in those rather than put it in a little bottle. Which, interestingly enough, Mary is not able to open pill bottles anymore. She can't open a pill bottle. She can't remember that you're supposed to push in on it and then turn it. She tries to pull it open like a little kid would. That's really sad. This is a Greyhound bus ticket. You're probably wondering, well, what's a bus ticket got to do with Mary's Alzheimer's journey? Well, it's just to show you how your life will be changed if somebody in your family has Alzheimer's. Now, I was originally planning on going to Kelowna this week, and this ticket, well, half of it is still good as we speak. The return portion, I should be returning home from Kelowna tomorrow. But circumstances happened that I didn't get to use it. And instead of going to Kelowna, I was rigging up a surveillance system so that I could keep an eye on the upstairs. Just to show you how things are changing around here. There was a health nurse came over, a geriatric health nurse, and she concluded that Mary could not be left alone anymore at all. And last month there was an incident where Mary sat down on the edge of the bathtub and couldn't get up. And this is when I was in Kelowna. And nobody knew that she was sitting there on the edge of the bathtub, not sitting in the bathtub, but just sitting on the edge of it. And she couldn't get up. And we're assuming she sat there for over 5 hours before somebody came and rescued her. That was pretty sad. So it really indicated to me that she can't be left alone. The geriatric health nurse said, well, you have to treat her like a 3-year-old. You wouldn't leave a 3-year-old alone. Well, you don't leave Mary alone. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I like to spend a lot of time downstairs in my workshop. What am I going to do? So that's why I rigged up the surveillance system. And I know I've got a monitor here on my workbench, and you're probably saying, well, that's fine if you're standing at your workbench, but what if you're in the main part of your workshop? Like, there are people that watch these videos that know what my workshop's laid out like, and they know I can't see this monitor from the main part of the workshop. Well, let me show you what I did. This was our very first large TV. We don't use it anymore. And I've got it hanging here in the workshop. And as you can see, it displays, well, you'll have to take my word for it. There's no place in the upstairs that Mary can go that I can't tell that she's there. For instance, right now, you can see her walking. She paces about 5 hours a day. Just goes from room to room to room. If she was to fall down, or for some reason all of a sudden it got very quiet, and I was wondering, why is it so quiet, I can just look. Right now she's just going to go into the kitchen, and there's a camera in the kitchen that catches her there. And then she'll be caught by that camera. Then she'll be going down the hall and past the bedroom into the far room where the piano is, and so on. In other words, there is no place upstairs that she could fall down and I wouldn't know about it. And you probably noticed that I've even got a camera in the bathroom. You're thinking, what, a camera in the bathroom? Well, it was the bathroom where there was the problem. So yeah, well, mind you, I've got the toilet masked off there. A little bit of privacy, but if she was to have collapsed on the floor, or if she was sitting on the edge of the bathtub and couldn't get up, I'd be able to tell. Anyway, yeah, kind of sad, eh? Well, for those who are asking me, how's Mary doing? Well, this is how she's doing. And this is what she's doing. The TV can be swiveled so that if I'm in one area more than the other, I can just change it. I can see it from anywhere in this room. Well, we've reached another milestone in Mary's Alzheimer's journey today. For just over 2 years, Mary's been going every Wednesday morning, almost every Wednesday, to the Alzheimer's Society here in Winnipeg, and they have a program there for people who have Alzheimer's. Well, we were just recently informed that they feel that they can no longer be of help to Mary. Now, it was 2 years ago when we first started going there that they told us that when this time came, they'd let us know. And I thought, well, that's never going to come. Well, it came. So today was her last day. And they gave her a nice little handmade quilted blanket type thing, sort of a memento, I guess, of her going there. And they had hoped that when she sees that, she'd remember. Well, you may be wondering, what does a padlock on the fridge have to do with ice cream? Well, this morning we went grocery shopping, Mary and I. Went to Superstore, and when we picked up milk, we had to walk past the ice cream department. And Mary has a sweet tooth for ice cream, so she wanted ice cream, and I said, well, no. And the reason for that is because she can't control herself with it. So anyway, I'm almost at the checkout, and Mary was supposed to be behind me, and here along she comes with this gallon jug of container of ice cream. And I'm saying, no, no, no. And so she turns around and she's going to go put it back, I thought. So I get myself in line and I'm starting to take the stuff and put it onto the conveyor for the girl to check through. And here's Mary coming along with the ice cream again. Well, by this time there was people behind me and I couldn't get back out to do anything about it. And so I said to the person behind me, who obviously knew that there was a bit of a problem going on, I said, it's easier to just buy it already. So I knew if the ice cream's in there, when I'm not looking, it's going to disappear. A whole gallon of it. Well, not maybe in one day, but maybe in two. And so that's why we got a lock on here. Now I should say that this lock idea on the fridge, it was also another family member's. And the reason I'm telling you that is because there was another family member who reported me to Manitoba Family Services for not doing a very good job looking after Mary. And I just don't want that person to think that now I'm not feeding my wife and go to Manitoba Family Services again. So anyway, that's too bad when stuff like that happens, right? Anyway, I wonder how long it'll take me to get into that thing. I got the key in my pocket. I've also got another key hidden over there. And let's just time myself. See how long it would take me to actually get in there. Be kind of fun. 1, 2, 3, go. There's the ice cream. That didn't take too long. Now, to give a better perspective of where Holy Family Home is, here is the Redwood Bridge, and here's 58 Noble Avenue. And Holy Family Home is at Redwood in Maine, right here. Now, this is what it looks like from the corner of Redwood and Maine. But to actually get into it, you have to enter it from Aberdeen. And this is the main entrance where I took Mary. I had taken along a few pictures from home and stuck them up on the wall with masking tape. We had done that when Mary went to St. Joseph's as well, just to make it seem a little bit more home-like. Now, something that's very important to Mary is her iPod. And here I'd shown her a place where she could plug it in, and she was just sort of practicing doing that. Very soon after we got there, Mary became rather oblivious to the fact that there was more than just her in the room. Well, there was me, and there was the social worker, and there was a nurse. Well, the nurse came and went, but we were all there together for, well over 2 hours. And it wasn't very long, and Mary began to do her own thing. Now, sadly, what you see Mary doing right here with those 2 photo albums is what she does at home as well. She'll go through them over and over and over again. Now, the room that Holy Family Home provided for Mary was just perfect for somebody in Mary's situation. Mary's room was on the second floor, and there was a lot of room in the hallways where she could walk around, and I believe that she had freedom of pretty well the whole floor, except for individuals' rooms, of course. Now, beside the fact that Mary had probably way over 10 times as much room to walk around as she does at home, she would also get better meals. And it was probably a lot more interesting because there was, well over 10 times more people there for her to interact with than just me. So as hard as it was for me to leave Mary there, I had to realize that she was actually way better off in a place like that. Now, what most people don't realize, and I didn't know this myself either, when you have Alzheimer disease, as well as losing your ability mentally, you lose your ability physically. And Mary lost a lot of her agility over the last 2 years. And getting in and out of her favorite chair was becoming almost impossible. Well, getting in was okay. Getting out was impossible. I had to help her most of the time lately. So what I did was, I raised it up, about 6 inches. Now she can get out without any problem. Mary still likes to play skibbo, even though she has a real hard time with it. We play it about 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. And I try to lose. I play to lose. And even though I play to lose, occasionally I still win. And Mary does need a lot of help. And it's sure sad to see because she used to be just as sharp as a tack with this game. In fact, with all games, she was just right on top of it. But, as you'll see, not anymore. Oh, wait, honey. Wait a minute, I think. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Why don't you use this? 7. And you can use that 8 and keep your skibbo. Hang on to your skibbo. Then you got a 9, 10, 11, 12. You can make it. Okay, wait, honey. Turn your card over first. Wait, sweetheart. Wait. Put your 12 here. Mary, put your 12 here. What if there's a 5 under there? Put your 12 on there. No, wait, turn your card over. Sweetheart, turn your card over. What if it's a 5? Now, if you listen carefully, you're going to hear Christmas music playing in the background. Mary's played that same Christmas CD over and over again since last Christmas. I guess that's part of the Alzheimer disease. You like things that are familiar. Now, singing has been a very important part of Mary's life. In fact, up to just less than a year ago, she was singing in the church choir. But lately, there hasn't been too much singing. Until this morning.
Count your blessings, make them one by one. Count your blessings, baby, God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. Burdened with a load of care, does the cross seem heavy? You are called to bear. Temporary blessings in will fly, and you will be singing as the days go by. Count your blessings, name them by one. Count Count your blessings, see what God hath done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord hath done.
Mary has made tea probably thousands of times during our married life. And about 3 weeks ago, I noticed that she stopped making tea. But day before yesterday, she made tea, or so I thought. So I come into the kitchen, and I get this strong aroma of strawberries. And I think, oh, she's found a tea bag of strawberry tea. And nope, it was Jell-O. So the bottom of the teapot's about that thick with Jell-O sludge. And it probably would have tasted pretty good. But of course we couldn't drink it. But that just goes to show you what Alzheimer's does to you. You end up being confused. Profound confusion sometimes. And I guess it's not going to get any better. Well, we've come to another milestone in Mary's Alzheimer's journey, and that is her email. Up till about a month ago, Mary was able to get onto her email and read it. I didn't realize at that time that she had been blocked from, sending an email. Found that out today when I tried to cancel her account. And yeah, for 10 or 15 years she was quite savvy with this. But she can't do it anymore. And it's just another milestone. Just another step closer to when you can't do anything. Anything normal, anyway. So that was kind of sad this morning. I had to cancel that. And I remember when I helped her set it up years ago. Passwords and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Just thought you'd like to know how it's going. Today is Thanksgiving's Day in Canada, and that means that tomorrow is October the 13th. About half an hour ago, Mary and I were upstairs at the kitchen table and we were playing Skibbo. And I mentioned to her that tomorrow was going to be the 13th, and I said, why is that a special day to you and me? And I went on and on and on about this, and she just couldn't remember. So then I reminded her that it was our anniversary. So then I asked her, how many years have we been married? And she couldn't remember. And yeah, it's kind of sad, eh? And speaking of Skibbo, we never play it the same way twice anymore. Anyhow, by the way, it's going to be 42 years tomorrow. Now, right beside our kitchen table, which almost always has Skibbo cards on it, is a little CD player. And that CD player has had the same CD in it for well over a year now. Mary Likes the Familiar. It's the same Christmas CD. And I've suggested changing it. Would you like something different? No, she doesn't want to change it. A couple of weeks after I had taken all the Christmas decorations down last year, I noticed I'd missed one, and I pointed it out to Mary. And she made it very clear at that time that she thought that one should stay up. She didn't want to take it down. Well, we're ready for this Christmas, which is going to be in about 2 months. Yeah, Mary likes the familiar. I guess it's an Alzheimer's thing. A little while ago, I got a phone call. I knew the phone call was coming because my wife's case coordinator phoned yesterday to ask if I'd be willing to be involved in a survey. So, being as that she has Alzheimer's and I want to be as helpful as I can, I said sure. So I got the call. And the answers you give are based on how often do you feel a certain way. One being very mildly or never, all the way up to 4, you feel that way every day. So we're part way into this survey, and I know I'm not the brightest light bulb in the ceiling, but I can tell the survey's flawed because it doesn't ask you how strongly do you feel that way. So I might have something cross my mind briefly every day. I have to answer a 4. That makes it sound kind of strong, but it might be, maybe I felt that way very mildly, or maybe I felt like running for the shotgun. Now, don't worry, I don't have a shotgun, haven't had one for years. However, I think you see my point here. The survey was flawed. And I'm thinking to myself, in fact, I said this to the girl conducting the survey, that I think the government is just creating jobs for these people. She's probably pretty mad at me right now. Creating jobs for these people when they get out of university. Why don't they give these kids a hammer and they can go and build more care facilities and hospitals and stuff like that, and forget all these committees and surveys. No, I am stressed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not really. Good thing I got my pen here to fall back on. I'm right in the middle of making the cottonwood bark pen when I got the call. Anyway, I think you get the point here. What's the matter with our governments wasting money anyway? That's my opinion. Thanks for watching. Well, Happy New Year's. It's New Year's Day. And a few minutes ago, I noticed that Mary was in the bathroom and I heard sort of a strange noise, and I went in to look to see what she's doing. And here she's emptying the soap dispenser onto the counter. And so I said to her, "What are you doing?" And she just sort of laughed. And, a 2-year-old would even know not to do that. Well, a 2-year-old would do it, but then when you would say, "What are you doing?" they would know that they'd done something wrong. I don't think Mary knew she'd done something wrong. This is what Alzheimer's does to you. So you're probably wondering, what does cookie dough have to do with Mary's Alzheimer journey? Well, this morning I'm sitting beside Mary in church. I take her anyway, even though I'm pretty sure she doesn't get anything out of it. And I'm listening to a sermon that starts off something about how we are right and other religions are wrong. And I all of a sudden realize I forgot to take the frozen cookie dough out of the freezer. And then I start to think about the other stuff that is in the freezer. And I realized that all the stuff that was given to Mary to help her out in this stage in her life pretty much has come from outside the church. I think all of it. And wow, what does that tell you? Anyway, not very long I'm starting to think thoughts like you bunch of closed-minded, narrow, legalistic, Bible-thumping hypocrites. And that's too bad, because today is supposed to be a day of rest, not a day of frustration. Well, it seems that once you have Alzheimer's, you lose your church friends. At least that's the way it seems. The day before yesterday, I was taking Mary to the clinic, and she fell right there at the steps as she was leaving the house. Now, Mary's fallen 3 or 4 times now recently, for no particular reason, and she used to be extremely agile. And in fact, up till about a couple of years ago, she was bowling and, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, thought I'd better get a railing up. So I guess when you've got Alzheimer's, your agility goes. It was less than an hour ago that I noticed that Mary was trying to put her parka on over top of her sweater jacket. And the sweater jacket is already pretty warm, and I'm thinking, well, are you cold? And she was saying no, but then she says no all the time now, so I didn't know for sure. So I thought, well, why don't I warm some milk up? So I opened the fridge and I got some skim milk out and put it in the microwave and warmed it up a bit. And I actually added a little bit of honey to it to sweeten it up. And Mary drank that. And then I went off to what I was doing. And, oh, just a little while ago, I hear the sink running. And I'm thinking, why is she running water in the sink? Well, turns out she wanted to wash out the ice cream container. Yepers, I forgot to lock the fridge. So that means I'm probably going to have to do the cactus juice thing, which just sort of adds to the fun. Now these videos are going to be probably a little bit shorter than what you're used to. And the reason for that is because my wife has Alzheimer's, as a lot of you know, and it's getting worse. She's at the place now where she can't really do much for herself. So I have to keep running upstairs and sort of help her with different things. And so the videos are going to be rather short because I'm spending a lot less time down here in my workshop. Not complaining, that's life. Anyway, let's cut this stuff up here and see what we can do. I had done this yesterday and I was just amazed, and I thought I'd better do it again today, just so that you can see for yourself. Now, who is this man?
No.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay. Can you show me a picture of your sister Teeny? Which one is your sister Teeny? Okay, which one is your sister Liz? Can you show me Liz? Okay. Where's your brother Peter? Which one is your brother Peter? Okay. Who's that? Who's this person here?
No.
Okay, sweetheart. You know, I was told that this sort of thing was going to come, but now that it's here, I still can't believe it. We bought this house in 1986, about 30 years ago. And what you're seeing right now is Mary leaving this house for her last time. Yes, this morning she's on her way to a personal care home. Wow, has this ever gone fast? It was 6 weeks ago today that Mary first went into the personal care home. And when I go there, and I've been there every day except for when I went to Kelowna to visit my mom, it'll be the same thing. Mary will often already be sitting in front of the TV. And if she's not, I'll go and I'll find her, and we'll sit down together in front of the TV. Gives us something to do. And we'll have a conversation, but the conversation is completely one-sided. And today was no exception. She was far more interested in just unzipping and zipping up the little camera case. After we'd been there for about 15 minutes, somebody came by with some cheese and crackers and apple juice. And it was kind of strange. Well, maybe not strange for Mary, because at first she didn't seem to know what to do with it. Now, one of the things that we always do is we go for a little walk. And we walk down usually this corridor. There's many corridors in this place. It's a huge facility. And The first time we went past these yellow signs, there was a guy on a ladder looking at a problem up in the ceiling. And as we walked past, I said to Mary, "Look, one of the residents is trying to escape." Poor Mary, she never even caught on. Well, at least the maintenance guy was amused. Just recently I was visiting my mom in Kelowna, BC, and we were watching a program there, and they were talking about music. And one of the guys there said this.
Who does a lot of our chaplaincy initiatives in care homes. He tells us of how often he sees folks, maybe in advanced stages of dementia, they're unable to communicate in any other way. And then when a certain song is sung,
they come alive.
They just come alive, and they're able to engage in that. And
Now, as soon as he said this, I was instantly reminded of the fact that a few days earlier I had taken Mary to the auditorium in the care home, and the group there that was going to be singing was practicing. We were a little bit early. Well, we sat ourselves down, and no sooner did we sit down, and I noticed that Mary's starting to sing along with the group. They were singing a song that she knew. It wasn't exactly in tune, and the timing was off just a little, but she was singing along. She remembered the words. She did remember the tune. And I had thought that because I hadn't heard her sing for about 3 or 4 weeks, I was telling people, well, I guess the singing is gone. Now, this little MP3 player that I have here, Mary seemed to show no interest in it when we first went into the care home a couple of months ago, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to charge it up and try it again. Now, I have to be very careful when I'm making these videos that I don't accidentally get somebody else in the video. The care home has very strict regulations about that. And even though video number 22 in this series did fully comply with the care home's policy regarding recordings, there was a woman who complained about it to one of the directors there. I shouldn't have been surprised, though. It was the same woman who had complained about me a few months earlier to Family Services. I want to show you something. It is 7 months ago today that Mary went into the personal care home. All right, let's look in here. And where are we here? Now, remember her? You used to talk to her. You liked her. You used to talk to her lots. She was nice to you. Okay? Well, this lady asked me to make a little coin box, a little coin collection box for the little kids so they can put their collection in it. And so I made this. Yeah, I made this. It's like a piggy bank. Got a slot on the top where you put the coins in. Okay, and I think I brought some coins here. If I can get them out of my pocket. Here we go. Okay, so what happens is the little kids are going to put the coins in, like this. Okay? Now you put a coin in. Can you do it? You want to put a coin in, sweetheart? Try it out? Here, take the loonie and put it in there. No? No? Can you take the loonie and put it in the coin slot? No? You can do it. Yeah, you can do it if you want to. Okay, let's listen to the music, all right? Now, I sat there with Mary for, well over an hour, I guess, listening to her music, and sadly, she never did try to put a coin into the coin box. But, as you're going to see, she did try to put her napkin into it. The nursing staff has informed me lately that Mary seems to be having a problem feeding herself occasionally. Well, I'd noticed that for a while already, and here I'm just helping her with her apple juice. Is that good? Now, you're going to notice in this video where occasionally I have the volume turned right down, and you can't hear any background. Well, the reason for that is because the care home has a real strict policy, and by the way, I think this is a good thing, about recordings. That means audio, video, or pictures. They don't want any staff or any other residents to be recorded in any way, unless it's your own relative. Now, this business with her napkin, well, this went on for well over half an hour. One of the nurses told me that it usually takes 2 people now to get Mary to stand up, and I believe that because I had quite a hard time getting her to stand up when I was going to take her to another room. And they also said, or indicated at least, a wheelchair is going to be coming real soon. When we entered the dining room that had the TV in it, Andre Rieu was playing. Now, Mary just loves music. And Mary's brother and his wife knew that, so that DVD they donated to the care home, and Mary's seen it several times. Anyway, what we did was we waited until the DV was over, and pretty soon the menu started scrolling by, and then I decided now's the time to give her her card. To show you. Today is our anniversary. Today is October the 13th, and we were married 43 years ago today. I got you a card. Do you want to take it out? Here, can you take the card out? You take the card out. Can you do that? You want to see your card? Here, can you do it? Okay. There's a video running right now. Now, one of the care home staff overheard me talking and wanted to come over and congratulate us. I had to warn her about the camera. She did, however, come over and congratulate us later. Move this. Okay. That card's for you. See, look on here. See? It says Mary. Okay, that card's for you. Okay. There. You want to look inside? Mary? Here. You want to look inside? Yeah. Do you like it?
No.
No? You mean yes, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the music that Mary is listening to here is the same music that she listened to over and over again just before she went into the care home. At that time, she was able to plug the headphones into her MP3 player, select the music, whatever she wanted to listen to, and I recall that this was what she liked. So I'm just continuing on here with what she liked, and she seems to enjoy it. Now, I've come to believe that Mary's attention span is extremely short. I think she just lives in the moment. I don't know if she actually thinks about anything anymore. She just lives by what's happening. If a car goes by, she looks up and she looks at it. Then maybe she'll look at her orange juice. Then she might look back at the card again. And so her day goes. Mary's music has come to an end. A little over an hour has passed now, and Mary sat there and she fumbled with the card pretty much the whole time. I don't even know if she understands what she's got in her hand. Well, I guess she knows it's a card, but does she know the significance? I don't think so. Anyway, I'll see if I can get Andre Ryu to play again, and then it's time for me to go. And these moments are always extremely hard. Now, I knew that this day was going to come, and I think it may be here now. And that is when Mary can no longer walk without two people helping her. I no longer feel that it is safe for me to walk with her down the hall just by myself. Anyway, you'll see here how it goes. Now the other one. Very gently. Very gently. Okay, very gently here. Give me your hand. Okay, that's the way. Come, stand up. Twist you around. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you gonna be able to stand up?
No.
No? You mean yes, right? Yeah. Okay. Very gently. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you know what? I'm going to raise the bed up, and then you don't have so far to stand up. Oh, wrong one. There we go. There. Now you don't have so far to stand up. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Yeah. There we are. Hold on. That's right. You all tucked in the back. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh no, we're gonna go for a walk. Okay, you wanna go for? Now you know it's kind of strange. Mary still seems to have a bit of a sense of humor. And if I overreact to something that's a little bit funny, she'll laugh. Kind of takes me back. Come with me? No? No? Don't want to take little steps? Okay, take little steps. Okay, sit down a second. Sit back down in the bed. Okay, now just wait there. Wait there. Okay. Let's use this. Let's use this. Okay. We'll put the brakes on. And the other one. Okay. We'll stand up again. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Now, can you go and sit in your chair? Can you sit in your chair? Come step forward a little bit. That's right. That's right. A little more. A little more. Good. A little more. Yeah, that's good. Now we're going to turn. Okay. Turn. Turn a little bit. Facing me. That's good. No. No. Can you sit down?
No.
All right. There we go. Yeah. Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. Yeah. Here, you can sit back. There. See? Isn't that nice and comfy? Take off the brakes. Yeah, I wonder, does this have power steering? Doesn't have power brakes. Okay. Okay, sit back. Sit back. That's good. And we'll get your music here. Got your music? Okay, wait, Mary. Sit back. Now just sit back. Okay, hold on to this. That's right, you hold that. Your music is in there. That's right, lift your feet up. And here we go. Now, I was most fortunate in the fact that very experienced staff in Mary's care home specially ordered that wheelchair for her. Now, it's designed exactly for her size. All I had to do was just pay for it. I feel very, very lucky. I didn't have to go running around wondering what to get and maybe getting the wrong thing. Anyway, it's got a special cushion in it. I didn't know that it existed, but I guess it's to help prevent like bed sores or something. And that cushion alone was $525. But, you know, I want Mary to be as comfortable as possible, and I'm very glad to pay for it. Now, when Mary went into the personal care home almost 10 months ago, before she went in, we had a couple of interviews conducted here at home, and they were quite extensive. They asked a lot of questions. And one of the questions was, will you be wanting to put a TV in Mary's room? And I had thought at that time that because Mary was still mobile and getting around on her own, I didn't want her just sitting in her room all day long watching the TV. I felt it might be good for her to get out and walk around and, you know, maybe mingle as best she could with the other residents. In fact, she was walking around so well at that time that the care home wanted her to wear an alert so that if she opened the door and tried to leave, they would be notified. And another reason. Up until just recently, Mary did not have her own room. She had to share a room. And a TV in a shared room, well, maybe she'd want to watch it and the other person would want to sleep. It just wouldn't work out. Now, there was a woman who went to Mary's church who was bad-mouthing me pretty good. And she was saying things like, Ron is quick to buy tools for his workshop, but he won't spend a thing on Mary. Well, now is the time for the TV. Well, it's actually sort of a TV. It's more of a monitor. And what's happening is it's just playing our home videos over and over and over again. I can put a memory stick in there and it'll play for over 12 hours before it starts to repeat itself. And believe me, I've got well over 12 hours of video. Probably about, I'm guessing a couple of 100 hours of video. Now, mind you, it's not all interesting. However, a lot of it does have my voice, and Mary will hear my voice, and hopefully she will remember. A couple of evenings ago, Mary's care home threw a Christmas party for the residents there, and for any family members who wanted to come. And so I went, and it was very nice. They did their best. They sang Christmas songs, and at the end of it, they gave out loot bags, you know, like they give to kids. And Mary got one. And there was a little bag of popcorn in it. And here Mary has already had 1 or 2 pieces of the popcorn. Now I had to put it in her mouth for her, but you will notice that her eyes are shut here. Now she's been doing that a lot lately. Even though she's not actually sleeping, she'll just close her eyes, and then when you say something to her, she'll open them, and she'll maybe look at you or look around. And something new that she's been doing lately. Now, I don't want this to be misleading. Mary did actually put a piece of popcorn in her mouth herself, but it was only after I put the popcorn between her fingers for her. Bet you'd like that one. What do you think? Are you ready?
It's a little long.
Now look here, there's a card, and this will be from the staff here at Donwood Manor. Okay. Now you probably notice Elvis is singing in the background there, and I don't want to be getting any kind of a notification from YouTube saying that I'm using copyrighted music in my YouTube videos. And I can guarantee you everything Elvis is copyrighted. So I gotta sort of tell you what the conversation was there. I was telling Mary that there was a card from the care home for her. And I asked her, would you like me to help her get the card out, which I did. And after about 10 minutes, surprisingly, Mary actually opened up the card and looked at it for a long time. In fact, she was looking at it almost an hour later when I left the care home. I think she really liked that little card. I'll take the envelope. Okay. Well, we sat there in that lovely little well-lit room for about an hour, and the CD had come to an end. And we went back to Mary's room, and I got the little TV going for her, and I put the Yule log on. The difference is, it's actually our fireplace at home that I videoed, and I added nice Christian Christmas music to it that Mary really liked. She used to really like to listen to that when she was at home. She listened to it over and over again. You know, I'm so very happy that Mary is in this wonderful personal care home with a fantastic caring staff. And I'm also happy that most of Mary's family and old friends live here in town too. So where am I going with this? In about 2 weeks it will be Christmas. And my mom in Kelowna is all alone with no family there anymore. Mom's parents, who did live there, have long ago passed away. Mom's only brother has moved away. My dad died 14 years ago. Mom's alone, all alone with no family. Now when I do go to Kelowna to visit my mom, it's not the glorious vacation that some people may have tried to portray it to be. It usually means sitting on a crowded Greyhound bus for almost 2 days out, and then another almost 2 days to get back home. But because these visits mean a lot to Mom, that means that they mean a lot to me. Now, there's a woman who goes to Mary's church that phoned my mom up. And among other things, Mom informed me that she was told by this woman that Mary needed me more here than she did in Kelowna. Now, can you imagine my mom, who is 94, getting this unnecessary guilt trip put on her? In other words, how dare she look forward to her son coming out to see her? How I wish that Mary could get on that bus with me and we'd go together as we did so many times in the past. We got our mail today. We got our mail today. And here's a letter, a Christmas card from Charles and Charlene. Right now, as I'm sitting here with Mary, the Christmas program is going on. And I had planned to go. In fact, I inquired as to when it was going to be, because I thought of going. Then I started to think, the last time that I was there, Mary was with me. And I just knew that I wasn't going to be able to not make an emotional fool of myself. So I thought, well, why don't I come and be with Mary during this time? So here I am. And here's Mary. And you see that blue thing on Mary's bed? Well, it's sort of a sling. And what they do now is they have to lift Mary with a special machine in and out of bed and into her wheelchair. She can't stand anymore. Yeah, isn't that something? Merry Christmas. That's from Charles and Charlene. Yeah. Oh, look, there's Colin. Colin's learning to be a pilot. It looks familiar. Yeah, it looks like probably I would say a 172. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that nice? There's a little note on it. Okay. Okay. Oh, look. Now this card came in the mail today, and it was rather timely because I do like to have something to take to the care home. Gives me something to talk about, and hopefully Mary does remember something of it, although I don't know anymore. She doesn't respond very much anymore. In fact, you may as well say not at all. So I really don't know if she recognized anybody. She seems to still recognize the music, though. Okay, we'll put that here. Take this clip off. Okay, here. You want to hold your card? Here. There, isn't that nice? Merry Christmas. And there's Charles and Charlene. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember Colin? Huh? He's learning to be a pilot. Yeah. Now, I had already been here this afternoon. However, I felt that this was a rather special time because as long as we were in town together, we went to the Christmas program together. And I just wanted to be together right now. Now, I don't know if you would actually refer to it as another milestone in Mary's life, but maybe it is. It was 1 year ago today that Mary moved into the personal care home. People ask me, do I notice any change in Mary? Well, I'd have to say I'm not really noticing it, but that's because, except for when I go to Kelowna to visit my mom, I'm here every day at least once. And so I have to think back to, the way it was, say, a few months ago when we were walking into this room together. And, she wasn't walking well, but she was walking. Now she can't walk. And also, she can't feed herself at all anymore. On Sundays, I come in extra early, and I help Mary with her breakfast. And then after that, we go downstairs to the church service in the auditorium. And church was a big part of Mary's life, so I try to keep that going for her as long as I can. And anyway, I walked into the dining hall, and Mary was sitting there with the toast in her hand. She wasn't able to eat it. One of the workers had put the toast in her hand, but she wasn't able to raise it up to her mouth. She just sat there all day like that. Now I realize it sounds like I was suggesting that perhaps Mary was being neglected. There is absolutely no neglect in this care home. I feel very fortunate that Mary's here. Yes, it was 1 year ago today. This is Mary's second Valentine's Day here in the personal care home. Today is your birthday. Today is your birthday. And that's your birthday card. Yeah. Should we open it up? I'll help you, okay? I will help you. I will help you. There we go. Put the envelope right here. Look what it says. To my wife. That's you. Happy birthday. Yeah. Okay. There. It says, Dear Mary, happy birthday. Love, Ron. This is Mary's routine. She has just had her breakfast. In fact, I fed it to her. I usually do not feed her breakfast. The staff does that, but I do it on Sundays and on special occasions. And today is a special occasion. Now, usually, right after breakfast, what they do is they'll put Mary back to bed. She's been up for quite a while, apparently. I guess they get her up early, and they put her to bed, and she'll sleep until about 1:30 or so, at which time the staff gets her back up, and once again I come and see her. And I do that every day, except for when I go to see my mom in Kelowna. And I'm very glad to be able to do it. Now for me, when I see Mary so often, I don't notice the change because it's gradual. But there is a change. There is a lack of awareness. And also she seems to be having more difficulty eating, that is, in swallowing. When I got back from Kelowna the day before yesterday, the nurse informed me that Mary had thrown up that morning, and so they thought they'd keep her in bed as a precaution. Then I found out that she had thrown up just a couple of days before that. Now, this was when I was away, so I didn't know about it. Now, this happens. It's not anybody's fault. It just happens. I'm expecting it's probably going to get worse. Anyway, the nurse said that she would make a note in her book about the suggestion I made. And the suggestion was that I was noticing when I was feeding Mary, you have to watch to make sure that she's swallowing, because she doesn't always swallow right away. You think she has because she stopped chewing, but in fact, she's not ready for the next bite. Happy birthday. It says, to my wife. That's you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mary. I sure do love you. Eh? Happy birthday. Yeah. This morning, I was looking around on my computer desktop and I was thinking, boy, have I ever got a lot of icons cluttering up the desktop. And I thought, I wonder if there's any I can get rid of or maybe group them into folders or something. Up in the left-hand top corner, you'll notice one called Norrington's 13. Well, I knew what was in it, but for nostalgia's sake, I opened it up anyway. Now, Norrington's 13 is a game. And this is the way we used to keep score, Mary and I. And Mary used to be the one that would keep score. What she would do is she would flip the computer open, bring up this program, and then she'd come and get me and she'd say, play a game? And of course, I would play a game. I always knew that one day we would play this game for the last time. Well, we did, 2 years ago today. It was just a coincidence. I happened to open this program today, and it turns out it was 2 years ago, today, that we played this game. Now, what I remember most about this game was the fact that the next day, Mary never flipped open the computer, and it had been a daily thing. It had been sort of a ritual for years, but it finally came to an end. I don't know if she realized it was just too hard for her, or what. Anyway, this was the last time that we ever played Norrington's 13. Well, here we sit, exactly 2 years later, to the day that we played our last Norrington's 13. And Mary can't do anything for herself now, let alone open a computer and start up a program. She can't feed herself, and she is completely on liquid and pureed foods. Yesterday, she had one of her spells where she accidentally inhales her food. Then she starts coughing, coughs so violently that she, as they say in the healthcare business, she was emesis. In other words, she threw up. Now, I could tell that the person that was involved with feeding Mary at that moment felt really, really bad. And I assured that person it was not their fault. This sort of thing is going to happen. It's only going to get worse, not better. The only thing you can blame is the Alzheimer's. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault, I said. Today is Sunday, and I've been here for about an hour already this morning. I came in early and fed Mary her breakfast, and when I was here yesterday, I noticed that her right eye was kind of runny, and I drew it to the attention of the nurse at the nursing station, and she came and looked at it, and she said, well, the doctor's going to be in on Tuesday, and then she mentioned some other day, and I thought, Tuesday? That's not for 4 days. Get that out of there, if we can. Okay, got a nice clean cloth here. Let's see if we can get that eyelash away from your eye. It's not in your eye, but it's close to your eye. Anyway, I thought I'm going to take a closer look tomorrow if I can. So I brought my magnifying glass here, and I'm kind of checking it out, thinking possibly there's a hair or something in there. Although normally if there's a hair in your eye, it gets a lot redder. But she's got some sort of infection going on there, and I drew it to the nurse's attention again this morning too. But anyway, that's not why I'm making this video. I make these videos to show changes, and you'll notice Mary's right hand is hanging onto her wheelchair. That's been there for at least an hour, and her left hand she's been hanging onto the bottom of her jacket. Well, it's been like that for the hour too. Bottom line is she can't move her hands anymore, or at least extremely little. She used to be able to adjust her glasses or scratch her nose or, the usual stuff. That's gone now. And I guess that's about the only major change that I'm really noticing in Mary since the last video. Her abilities are slowly slipping away. So, get the breakfast off and then we'll go down to church, okay? Yeah. We'll be singing, and Wanda's going to be there today. Yeah. You remember Wanda? You like Wanda. She's nice to you. Now, Wanda is the chaplain here in Mary's care home. Kind, caring, wonderful woman. As I mentioned in Strange Beliefs and Legalisms Part 4, how refreshing. Okay. Okay, now I think we better clean those. I'm going to clean those and then we'll put them on and you'll be able to see real good. You'll be able to see Wanda really good, okay? All right. This is what Alzheimer's does. Sunday is no different from any other day as far as Mary is concerned. They're all the same. I come to visit her, I get the music going, somebody comes around with snacks, and I feed her the snack. It's usually something pureed. Today, it's applesauce. And it took Mary about half an hour to get those 3-4 ounces down. She's having trouble swallowing now. Now, all of my videos and picture files are dated. They're dated with the date and the time. I could probably tell you within a few seconds of when I took a particular picture or a video. And this is what was happening 2 years ago today.
And it will surprise you what the Lord hath done. Count your blessings, make them one by one. Count your blessings, be the God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done.
Mary is listening to the very same album there as she is in the care home today. When she had the ability to select the music that she wanted, she always selected that one. At least towards the end she did. And so I just keep on with this same one. I knew that it was probably her favorite. I can well remember the very first time that I ever held Mary's hand. It was on a beautiful, warm July afternoon, on a Sunday, in a park, right here in Winnipeg, just over 44 years ago. Now, as long as I'm talking about stuff that happened exactly 2 years ago, tomorrow's Labor Day in Canada, and 2 years ago Labor Day, Mary and I went to our last pancake breakfast together. Well, last year when it rolled around, I just couldn't bring myself to go without Mary. However, tomorrow I'm going to give it a try. We'll see how it goes.
Count what the Lord has done.
And I want to show you something. Okay. It says Mary. Yeah. You know what this is? This is a card. An anniversary card. It's an anniversary card. 44 years ago today, we were married. Okay? 44 years ago. We were married 44 years ago today. Okay? It's the anniversary card. Yeah. 44 years ago. Okay. We'll put it over here where you can see it. There we go. It says, for my wife. 44 years ago. It is very hard, in fact it's impossible, to tell what Mary can comprehend and what she can't. I don't think she actually realized it was our anniversary, even though I kept telling her over and over again. I love you. Keep you nice and cozy. Are you nice and cozy? 44 years ago. It was a day just like today. It was sunny. The leaves were falling. It was just like today. A little bit cool. It was a little bit cool. Yeah, but it was sunny. Now, in order for me to really notice the change in Mary, I have to look at a video that I took sometime earlier, like the one I took 1 year ago today. And at that time, Mary was still walking. Now, not very well, but she was still walking. And when I put the anniversary card in her hand, she actually looked at it for a while. In fact, she looked at it for a long time. Now, there's no use even trying. She's having great difficulty manipulating her fingers and hands, so I didn't want to frustrate her. I have been noticing, and so have some of the staff, that Mary is very sleepy lately. She's doing a lot of sleeping during the day when she's sitting up in her chair. And if she falls asleep while she's sitting in her chair, her head slumps forward, as you see here, and after a while she is unable to lift it back up, no matter how wide awake she should become later. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Mary. How are you? Good morning. Good morning, Mary. Can you open your eyes? It is Sunday morning, and normally I'd be taking Mary down to the church service just as soon as she's finished breakfast. However, we won't be doing that this morning. And we didn't do it last Sunday either, for the very same reason. I've been speaking with some of the staff about this new disability, like the nurse in charge and so on, and we came to the general conclusion that Mary is most likely better off if she's kept in a rather reclined position, and that way her head isn't going to be falling forward. Yeah, I guess this is going to be the new normal. Come on, you just started. Have another one. Open your mouth. That's good. Okay, swallow that down. Have another one. Have another one. Open your mouth. Later, maybe? Now, up until last Sunday, Mary would eat, for the most part, all of her breakfast. Well, she didn't always want the coffee, but then she never was a big coffee person first thing in the morning anyway. And I guess this is, like I say, the new normal. It could well be that we've gone down to our last church service together. Now I'd like to say here that not every mealtime is like this. Sometimes she'll eat most of it. But this sort of thing, sadly, is becoming more and more prevalent. It is 2 years ago today that Mary first came to this personal care home. It's hard to believe that a whole 2 years has passed since she was at home with me. So, what has changed in the last year? Well, I would say if I watch video that was taken, say, a year ago, there's a lot of less awareness of what is going on around her. And of course, there's the eating thing. And that's probably the big issue right now. I guess except for when I go to see my mom in Kelowna, I've been here to see Mary every day, sometimes as much as 3 times a day. And so I don't notice the change. You know, it just sort of seems to be happening gradual. However, when I got off the elevator yesterday, the nurse at the nursing station called me over. I could tell by the look on her face that it was going to be a serious conversation, not just the sort of, hi, hello, how are you? Yeah, and it was a serious conversation. They were quite concerned about Mary's change in eating. And the conversation sort of went like this. When she stops eating, we're just going to be able to make her more comfortable. Yeah, that's sort of a sobering thought, isn't it? It's sort of coming to that stage. Slowly, but it's coming. Often when I'll call her name, she won't look at me. Sometimes she won't even open her eyes or acknowledge that she's heard. Also, she doesn't seem to watch the cars go up and down the road like she used to. Occasionally somebody will walk down the sidewalk and she will momentarily sort of watch, but not the way it used to be. It just seems that interest in life is gone. This came about an hour earlier. It's blueberry flavored applesauce. And up till maybe a couple of months ago, Mary used to down this stuff. She loved it. But right now she had maybe 3 or 4 spoonfuls and then she refused to open her mouth. And I kept trying right up until the time I left. Yeah, that's the way it's going now. Now, there's a woman who goes to Mary's church who was quite vocal in a negative way about me making these videos here at Mary's care home. And, you know, what can I say positive, though? Well, Mary does not seem to be in any pain. She does not seem to be distressed. However, she cannot show emotions. This is Alzheimer disease. It doesn't get better. It only gets worse. This is Alzheimer disease. This morning, quite early, I got a phone call from Mary's care home. It was the nurse in charge, And the people there were quite concerned that Mary's heart rate was high. Turns out it was 128. She had a temperature. She seemed to be having a little bit of problem breathing, and they were wondering if possibly she might be in pain. Now, because she can't swallow anything, or very seldom is able to swallow anything, they wanted to put in a subcontinuous line, which they have done. And they want to be able to administer hydromorphine to whenever it appears that she might be in pain. But because she can't talk, they don't know for sure. They're just doing what they think is best at the time, which is actually a wonderful thing. Wonderful care she's received there in the last little over 2 years now. Wonderful care. My wonderful wife, who was the love of my life. Yes, Mary passed away this morning at about 3:40 a.m. And my son and I were at her side, holding her hands as she took her last breath.